Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel, and today we'll be learning another interesting tutorial on how to make underbust corset as seen at the beginning of the video. So the first thing you want to do is to get your pattern paper ready. I have my ruler, I have my armor curve, I have my marker, I have my pencil, I have my tape rule. So the next thing you want to do is to get the baseline of your pattern paper. That is where your pattern is going to start from. So all I did was just to measure half an inch and draw a straight line to the other side. So I extended a straight line to the other side because I want to get the back pattern on the other side as well. So after doing that, I draw out the line using a straight ruler. Then I place my tape on the pattern paper to get my shoulder measurement. My shoulder measurement is 16 divided by 2, that is 8. So that is that on fold, followed by my armhole measurement. My armhole measurement divided by 2 is 8.5. So I have my 8.5 there on that line. Then I also try to extend the 8.5 to the other side to be sure. Then I did my bust point measurement. Then my bust point is 10 inches, my under bust is 13, my waistline is 17. Your waistline is the innermost part of your body, the boneless part of your body is your waistline. Then before moving to my base, that is the length where I want the front part to get to, because of the V design I did at the front. So here I was trying to make sure the measurement I have for the armhole line is accurate for the back pattern as well. So after that, I proceeded in drawing a straight line on that line as shown here, as you can see. Then the next thing is to my bust point measurement. After that, I proceeded to my under bust measurement. Then I went down to my waist measurement, and after my waistline measurement, then to the length where I want this thing to get to. So I have 21 inches long. I made it 21 inches long. So the upper part is the base, don't forget. And I was trying to label it here, then I realized that pencil was not clear enough, so I had to get a bold marker. So that is the armhole line, your bust point, your waistline, your under bust, your waistline, then your blouse length, depending on the design you want to do for it. So yeah, I was trying to point it out to you again so you don't get it mixed up. Then the next thing is I take my neck measurements here. So here I'll be doing 3.5 inches wide by 3 inches deep. So for every neck, 3 inches deep is the basic neckline before you now determine the type of neckline you want for your blouse. So the 3 inches depth is just a basics for the neckline. Then here I came down by 1 inch from the shoulder slope. You know the essence of that is for because the shoulder is not straight, so I came down by 1 inch there. And here I'm trying to connect my neckline together as seen. So this is just a basic neckline for a basic pattern. Then after that, I connected my shoulder length to the line. Then the next thing you do is you place your tape on it and fold into two. Whatever you're getting there, you mark the midpoint. Then from the midpoint, you go in by half an inch and you connect together with your ruler. The essence is because the front armhole is a bit deeper than the back armhole, so you just have something like this. If you can draw out your basic pattern, it is pretty and quite easy. So the next thing is you measure the depth of your neck, where you want your neck to be, right from the bone of your neck down to how deep you want it to be. So I'm doing 4.5. If I measure from you can measure from the upper part. Sometimes I can make it 7 from the upper part, or 7.5, depending on how deep I want it to be. Then from my armhole line, that is just 1 inch upward. So I did 4.5, so it's just 1 inch upward from my armhole. Then I will just draw a straight line using my marker to indicate the chest line. So in this way, I know I'm not, my nipple is not, I mean my cleavage is rather is not showing, and it is well covered. So the next thing you want to do is to put in your nipple to nipple measurement. My nipple to nipple measurement is 7, divided by 2 is 3.5. Then I added half an inch allowance. I don't want to forget my allowance there, so I have 4 inches altogether. I usually add my allowance to my pattern paper, especially in appropriate areas, so I don't forget to add them when I need to join them together. Then you take your tape to the shoulder loop, divide it by 2, mark the midpoint of whatever you get, and connect to the bust point as seen. You connect from the midpoint to the bust point as shown below. And the next thing you want to do is you want to tighten the under bust. So what I do is I measure what the distance between my bust point and my under bust. I have 3 inches wide. So on the side of the center front, I'll be taking in just 1 inch from the under bust as seen. I'll be taking in just 1 inch downward from the under bust to the waistline, then to the blouse length. So if you are not doing any basque effect design to your blouse, you can just stop under the waistline. So then on the other side, I transfer the remaining 2 inches that to it, so because I want the down part to be more prominent. Yeah, I was trying to determine how I want the dart line to be, but then I concluded on just doing a straight dart line from the under bust down to the blouse then, because I'm using that for the fronts of my gown. Then the next thing is you want to draw that curve line from your under bust to your bust point, so it will give you, make sure you set your armhole curve or whatever curve you're using, so it will give you a perfectly round shape at that under bust. This is for the center front. Then you do the same for the other side of it. Make sure your curve is sitting perfectly well, so that it will pack under the bust very well. So this is just it, and I've been able to tighten the under bust this way. So the next thing I want to do here is to transfer my body measurement. I mean, sorry, I need to tighten the upper bust, but because I'm not busty, I'm using just 1 inch to tighten the upper bust. That is half an inch on both sides on the chest line as seen. Then after taking it out, I transferred back the 1 inch to the armhole line. The essence is so that my armhole will not be short after tightening the under bust. So whatever you are taking in on that line, you transfer it back. You can see that is 1 inch. Then I draw out another armhole line. So the essence is so that my armhole line will not be short. That is just 1 inch. If you are busty, if you are quite busty, you can use a little, you can just go a little over half an inch, but because I'm not busty and I don't want something that will be too, I just need to tighten the under bust more, so to give it the effect. So yeah, I have half an inch on both sides, and I had to measure what I have there and put my tape there, so I will have something equal. You can see. Then I will connect back with my line, so I have equal measurements there as seen. So the next thing I am doing here is I'm trying to get my bust measurement. So my bust measurement is 40 divided by 2. I have 10 inches. So remember, I took in 1 inch dart on the bust area, so I returned the dart there, so I have 11 inches. Yeah, I've not added any sewing allowance. I'll add the sewing allowance to my clothes when I'm drafting on my clothes, when I'm transferring the pieces to my clothes. So to get your under bust measurement, you divide your under bust by 4. Mine is 32 by 4. So you place your tape directly from the center front to the line, to the dart line, and you continue from the next dart line. You can see just what I did at the waistline as well. Then the same thing you do at the blouse length, your hip measurements. You can start from the center front, then you continue from the dart line to the other side. I hope you get that. So the essence is to skip the excesses you've taken for the dart, so you don't have anything less or short. So here I've been able to put in my body measurements, and I'm trying to connect together. Here, don't forget I said I have not added my seam allowance or joining allowance to it, so I'll do that on my fabric as well. So what next to do is my back length is 16 inches and my front length is 17 inches. So I am taking the bust dart of 1 inch. So I'll measure 1 inch from the bust point line downward and from the nipple point. So you can see what I did: 1 inch from the nipple point, then 1 inch from the bust point, then you connect as seen below. So next thing you want to do is you want to slash your dart line, the dart leg. You want to slash it because I need to close the bust dart. I need to close the bust dart on that side. So you slash your dart line as seen. Make sure you are using a different scissors for your pattern. To that bust point, you can see I did not slash everything. I only slashed that bust point, and I closed the waist, I mean the bust dart, the side dart, so I can align the lines for my measurements as seen below. So I'm trying to just align the line as seen. So when you open it out, you can see now you're getting the line, and then here I'm trying to close back because I'll be closing the dart line A. I feel the essence of the side dart is to accentuate the bust area very well. And don't forget I already opened the dart leg here. So the next thing I want to do is, if you are using a yoke, a complete yoke for the upper part of your bustier, this is for you. Make sure you tighten the yoke area too with 0.25 on both sides. The essence is so you not be having too much excess on your yoke. The yoke is the upper part where you can use your net, or you can, you can decide to use another material for the upper part. That is either your net, your skin mesh, your chantilly also. So if you are using a complete yoke, make sure you tighten the leg of that so it will not be too bogus and it will be fitted. So here I want to create something like a Queen Anne neck, not exactly Queen Anne neck line, but just something similar. So I measured 2.5 inches. I will not be needing that for that. I'll just minus the dart. Then here I went out from the neckline by half an inch as well to the shoulder, to the shoulder line. So I have half an inch here, then 2.5 downwards. So I was trying to slant it here, then I remember that I'm supposed to minus the half an inch dart, so I went in by half an inch here, so making that I have 2 inches down here and 4 inches up here, and I created the neckline I wanted. So this is the neckline I wanted. This other parts will not be needed. I just needed something slant like that. I hope you understand. So now here, don't forget to add half an inch sewing allowance to your shoulder line as well when you are transferring back to your fabric. Now we need to determine the shape of our neckline. I just want something simple, close to a sweetheart neck, but not really a defined sweetheart neck. So I'll just placing my armhole curve on my pattern. Then I connected to my bust to my armhole line. Yes, so if you are trying to get that with that curve, you need to close the upper part. You need to tighten the upper body so you can get your accurate curve, just as seen here. You can see what I did. I had to close that leg there and place my armhole curve on it, just to shape out the design of the neck I want from that yoke. Yes, you can see. So I'm trying to shape it out here. So when you open up, the essence is you will see there are some places you need to connect together. You can see that space there. So I had to connect this together and connect this together so it will not be short after cutting out. Don't forget we are tightening that upper part so it will not be short as well. So that place I marked, it will be cut out because I don't need that. I do not need that. And now back to the business of the day. In order to get your under bust corset, you come down from the under bust by half an inch. Now the essence of that half an inch is just to cut out, so you'll not be cutting out directly on your under bust line. So you had half an inch to hit, you understand. That's what I'm doing, adding half an inch to the under bust. Don't forget what you are doing here is the under bust corset. And after adding half an inch, you can decide to style the center front as anyhow you want it. The essence of this is just to get the under bust corset, and the next thing you do is you rule a line to indicate where you are cutting off. I hope you understand as we are going. So the line under the under bust is just half an inch to cut out from the main length. So the next thing I will do here is to start cutting out my pattern. Don't forget I had already closed that side dart, so I just need to cut out the darts. And don't forget the essence of that is to tighten the under bust. When your under bust is well contoured, it is going to make your bustier come out in a more prominent way, even without you adding your bust pad. By just adding your gum stay, your hair stay perfectly the right way, and ironing before sewing, your under bust and your bust point will be well contoured. So that is just the essence of this wide dart. And the more reason why it is looking so wide is because I've closed the side dart, so giving it more space underneath. You can see this is after I've cut out the dart leg, and this is what we have, right? So let's continue. When you close it, I was trying to show you that when you close it, you can see that bringing the paper together is already bringing out how prominent the bust area is going to be. So next thing is you cut out on your side. Don't forget, by the time you are placing your pattern on your fabric directly, you need to add your sewing allowance and your half an inch round your pattern here. Don't forget, if you know you are going to forget to add your sewing allowance or your other allowances, just add it directly um to your pattern paper. But yeah, so this is me trying to cut out the neck design. Don't forget I said I will not be needing the full yoke, it's just the half yoke here. As seen, I was trying to cut out the armhole, then your shoulder slope. If you know you forget to add half an inch to your fabric on the shoulder slope, you can add it directly to your pattern paper. So next thing is you cut out the style line for the yoke. You can see what I am cutting out here. And don't forget, after cutting out your pattern, please label them so you don't make a mistake by throwing them away. So this is my yoke, and that is to indicate that that is the pattern I am using. Then the next thing is you cut off where is not necessary, and you open up the bust that area. It's pretty simple and easy. If you know how to draft your bustier very well, you may get this. And the down part, you can decide to make the the bust area with another fabric, the yoke with another fabric, the under bust with another fabric, depending on how well you can combine your colors and your design. uh, so I was already cutting out here, I'm almost done with the cutting. Yes, now we are done with the cutting, and you can see what we have here. So by the time you tighten the upper bust measurement, the half an inch will come back to the armhole line, then you'll be placing your yoke directly on that line as seen. So I'm just trying to arrange basically, but I'm not done cutting. Don't forget we are going to cut out the under bust corset. That's the main reason for this tutorial. This is me just explaining to you how it is going to look. You can start to leave it like this and just go ahead by sewing. That's just a normal bustier top, right? So but here now you have to cut out from that half an inch from the under bust. Don't forget I said you are going to add half an inch to cut out, and make sure you add half an inch to your pattern round for joining to the yoke. Before cutting out your yoke, add half an inch round it, and your bust area add half an inch round it. So here I was trying to label the parts. So that is the center front up, the center front down, the side front up, and the side front down, so I don't misplace it. And the next thing is, in case for that video at the beginning of this tutorial, there is no sewing line. All I just did was close up my pattern paper using my tape and placing it directly on my fabric. I added my sewing allowance and my half an inch round it, and I just used my chalk to draw out the style line I needed for the boning. I had a I had a little boning to the under bust area in order for it to give that bust point a little push. I needed that snatch, a little snatch and effect on my blouse, so I just added that. And in that video, the back was not having boning at all, it was just a normal zipper back. So depending on what you want or how you want it, the bottom line is just for you to have a well contoured bustier, and use the right interface, use the right wording, use the right material. When you use the right material, you arrive at the same thing. So you know, when you want to start joining from the under bust, make sure you notch where the cogent point, that is your under bust, your bust point, and your chest line. So here I was trying to use my marker to indicate the lines that will need to be joined together. That is my under bust, then my bust point, and my chest line. So that is it, guys, on how to cut your under bust corset. Thank you for watching.